twins Reggie and Ronnie Kray are violent British gangsters who have dominated London for over 10 years since the 60s. The story of their life is so incredible and interesting that for many years it has been inspiring creators to create films, theatrical productions, and even musicals about the Kray brothers. The most famous of them is the film Legend with Tom Hardy in the title role. Let's see how the life of some of the most popular representatives of the underworld in history turned out. Early years. On October 24, 1933, the twins Reginald and Ronald Kray were born in one of the disadvantaged areas of London. Their father fled the family to escape the draft, so the brothers grew up with their mother and older brother Charles. Under the influence of his maternal grandfather, Jimmy Cannonball Lee, the brothers took up boxing. Both brothers were quite successful in sports, and by the age of 19 they even began to think about a professional career, but fate decreed otherwise. The twins were called up for service, which led to their first problems with the law. They ran away from service several times, attacked the military authorities and police officers who tried to return them to the military unit. In the end, the brothers were sent to prison, where their behavior was no better. They doused prison guards with boiling water and slop, fought and escaped from custody. The beginning of criminal activity. After a shameful discharge from military service and prison, dreams of a career in professional sports were abandoned. Not finding a place in life, the brothers devoted themselves entirely to crime. Starting with racketeering, the twins, together with their older brother, created the firm, a criminal gang. The firm was engaged in robbery, arson, money laundering and even hijacking. In the late 50s, Ronnie Kray was arrested for causing grievous bodily harm. During his time in prison, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, which, of course, did not prevent him from pursuing a criminal career after his release. By the early 1960s, their influence had spread to London's fashionable West End, where they opened the Esmeralda's Barn nightclub. Thanks to the opening of a fashionable club, the brothers gained incredible popularity and communicated with representatives of government and show business. For example, Frank Sinatra sang in the brothers' club and even used the services of their security company. A 1964 Sunday Mirror investigation hinted at Ronnie Kray's sexual relationship with conservative politician Lord Boothby. At that time, homosexual relations were criminalized. Therefore, despite the fact that no specific names were indicated in the investigation, the publication was threatened with a court order, after which the author of the investigation was fired, and Lord Boothby was paid £40,000 in compensation. After this incident, journalists did not take up articles in any way related to the Kray twins. Arrest. In 1966, Ronnie Kray shot and killed a rival gang member at the Blind Beggar pub, setting off a chain of events that would eventually lead to the twins' incarceration. And although not a single witness dared testify against Kray immediately after the crime, this murder led to a series of investigations against the brothers. However, this did not stop them from committing another horrific crime. The brothers invited one of the minor members of their gang to a party, where, in front of witnesses, Reggie stabbed him to death for unfulfilled obligations. By the end of 1968, Scotland Yard detectives were able to gather enough evidence to arrest the brothers. In 1969, they and 15 members of the firm were arrested. The detective hoped that at least after the arrest of the brothers there would be people ready to testify against them. And so it happened. The barmaid from the pub Blind Beggar admitted that she witnessed Ronnie's crime. The rest of the evidence came from arrested members of the group who testified against each other. After the trial, both brothers were sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole for 30 years. Their older brother Charlie Kray received 7 years in prison, but as soon as he served his term, he immediately returned to prison again, having been caught smuggling cocaine. Conclusion and death. Even while imprisoned, the brothers continued to engage in criminal activities through their older brother, until his re-imprisonment. For all the time of their imprisonment, the brothers were released from prison only once. They were released to attend their mother's funeral. In 1990, the film The Krays, based on the biography of the brothers, was released. Charlie Kray acted as a senior consultant during the film's production, and the brothers received £255,000 for the film. Ronald Kray served almost the entire prison term at Broadmoor Hospital in Berkshire with a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia. He died at the age of 61 after a heart attack on March 17, 1995. The elder brother, Charles, passed away at the age of 73 in 2000. His heart could not stand such a lifestyle. Reginald Kray was held at Maidstone Prison in Kent before being transferred to Wayland Prison in Norfolk in 1997. After being diagnosed with bladder cancer, Reggie was released from compassion in August 2000. He died at the age of 66, 6 weeks after his release.